Hi, I am Madhusudan. I am the founder of Back to Basics Farms. I launched Airtel in Karnataka, Andhra, Kerala, Tamil Nadu as a senior vice president. Indian agriculture or the farmers are not succeeding. They blame it on agriculture. It is not true. The problem is with the farmer, not with agriculture.
So it's almost as if medical education, for example, was where we are being taught by people who are teaching us about treating patients without having treated patients themselves.
I got what I would say the Sanskrit term called Athmalabh. The entire 60 acres that we have, if I'm harvesting before Diwali or before Dashera, I hit a jackpot. If I harvest just before Christmas, I lose money. We don't even waste a drop of this rainwater. Vaastu is not just a fad or a superstition or a tradition. Ask me, you look at all these items, look at items in our farm, you will see that hardly any of our plants have pests. I cannot compete with nature. You will lose, you will fail if you try to compete with nature. Nature is supreme. Let's all understand that.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Farmizen on the Road. Today we visited Back to Basics Farms, which is one of the largest organic farms in Bangalore. They do farming on more than 500 acres. It's run by the incredibly passionate Mr. Madhusudan. Located just half an hour from Whitefield in Narsipura. They have their main farm, which is 60 acres in size, and it's a farm full of lush organic fields. And as soon as we arrived, we were greeted with all of the vibrant greenery and the fresh scent of nature all around us. So Mr. Madhu gave us an amazing tour, showing us everything from the diverse crops he grows to the innovative techniques he uses to keep the farm completely natural and chemical free. He showed us the huge variety of fruit trees that he has, vegetables, exotic vegetables that he has. And his dedication to sustainable farming is actually pretty inspiring. It's clear that he's not just growing food, he's building a better future for the land and for all of us. During our interview and farm visit, we had the chance to hear his story, learn about the challenges he has faced, and understand the deep commitment he has to organic farming. He even treated us to some of his farm's fresh produce. And trust us, it was mind-blowing.
Hi, I am Madhusudan. I am the founder of Back to Basics Farms. The whole genesis, let me first start with the genesis of why we created this farm and why I got into farming.
Right.
As a background, I come from a family of chartered accountants. My grandfather used to say, if a dog could speak, even a dog could become a chartered accountant. Okay, so after I finished my 12th grade, it was natural that I get into commerce. So I got into BCom. Because my family felt the moment I finished my BCom, I should get into CA. Okay. I tried CA for about 5 weeks. I didn't like it. I didn't like a desk job. I wanted to do something which was more sales, marketing oriented rather than sitting at a table and ticking vouchers. I said I want to do my MBA. Everybody was very upset that I didn't want to. I must tell you this, that my mother didn't even pay for the tuition that I took for coaching classes for my IIM exam. My uncle sponsored that. Okay. So I got into IIM both in Ahmedabad and in Bangalore. I chose Bangalore because I'm a Bangalore boy. And I could spend the weekends with my mom. So after I got into IIM, 35 years I was in corporate life. I first was with Reliance, where we were in, I started a company called Mudra Videotech, which was into producing television serials. We produced 2 blockbuster serials, Bunyad and Hum Log, for Doordarshan.
I remember. Those were they were the first ones, kind of, right?
So those are the serial that this was pre-satellite television.
Right.
So it was a huge hit. Then I was moved to the Reliance corporate office.
Okay. So that was in Mumbai.
Okay. And telecom beckoned. That was the time that Rajiv Gandhi and Sam Pitroda opened privatization of telecom.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So Sunil Bharti Mittal got the licenses in Karnataka and Andhra.
Okay.
So I wanted to get into telecom because that was the category that was actually going up. So I quit Reliance, went into Airtel. I launched Airtel in Karnataka, Andhra, Kerala, Tamil Nadu as a senior vice president.
Okay. This was which year around?
I launched it here.
Okay.
So, and I spent close to about 7-8 years in Reliance. And after that, I was with the Manipal group, helping them buy universities outside of India.
Okay.
And in 2010, I had a medical problem.
Okay.
And at that time, I was on medical leave. And I had a 30 feet by 40 feet site.
Okay.
In Whitefield,
Okay.
close to ITPL.
Okay.
And a layout called Prashant Layout. It still exists.
Okay.
And I said I should do some farming. Honest to God, I had no idea.
I mean, as a hobby, as like, okay,
I just wanted to do something.
Okay.
Because the thing was, I was alone at home because my wife was the global head for business solutions with Deutsche Bank worldwide.
Okay.
She was based in Singapore. And my daughter was studying at Wharton in the US. So I was alone here. And I had one help and a cat for company. And I had a 30-40 site. And we were growing some greens, and I grow some sweet corn, and I used to harvest that and give it to all my friends, neighbors in my community where I stay. Okay, so that was my initial genesis of how I started.
Okay.
I got what I would say the Sanskrit term called Athmalabh.
Okay. What does that mean?
Benefit for the soul.
Okay. Got
Okay.
it.
I firmly believe that anything that we do in life, there's an end goal. The end goal is benefiting the soul.
The overarching goal, kind of.
Exactly. So that is the reason how you're able to sleep well at night. If you're doing something which is fulfilling, it's not about making money. Money will come. It has to be fulfilling. It has to be something that you believe will do well.
Got it.
But I had no idea about it. I spent about 2.5 years learning the business of the science of farming. I spent time in Israel in a kibbutz.
Okay.
I spent time in South America. I spent time all over. I spent time in various parts of India to get an understanding of the science of farming.
Okay, so before you kind of got into it full-fledged, right?
Yes.
So after your initial experiments with your own small patch, after that you went and traveled around the world, stayed at various places to learn farming, farm up that knowledge further, right?
In between, like all of us know that if you want to learn something, you want to go to a school or a university.
Right.
Right? We believe that is what it is. So I immediately enrolled in UAS, University of Agricultural Sciences.
Okay.
This was when I had that 30-40 site, when I said I want to learn.
Okay.
So the first thing I did was I went to UAS. At that time it was called UAS. Today it's called GKVK.
Correct.
Okay. So I went there. I enrolled for a program. I wasted 6 months.
Okay.
And I say wasted because it took me 6 months to realize that most people go to university to get that piece of paper that
to
you
get the stamp, not necessarily for the knowledge.
Not for the knowledge. That is the whole point. Whereas for me, I was not seeking a job.
Right.
I wanted to get into the technicalities of farming. I know sales and marketing well like the back of my hand. But I wanted to learn production. How I can be a successful farmer. How I can do good farming with good practices and processes. And I thought the GKVK will teach me that.
Okay.
But unfortunately, they were teaching what is the textbook.
Right.
Okay. And I would come back to my 30-40 site in the evening, try to experiment what I learned. Invariably, I failed. I would go back and say, hey, listen, I did this. I failed. What should I do? And they had no clue. Because the unfortunate thing is, Shamik, the guys who are teaching as well are actually not farmers.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Here is the catch. The guys get into university, they do their BCom, BSc Agri, they do the MSc Agri, then they become a apprentice teacher, then they become a junior professor, then they become a professor. But they've actually not got practical experience in the farm.
Right.
They know in the textbook which chapter, which paragraph, which page, everything they know.
Right. So it's almost as if our medical education, for example, was where we are being taught by people who are teaching us about treating patients without having treated patients themselves.
Exactly. Right? So it took me 6 months to realize that I was wasting my time.
So you left it then?
So I quit.
Okay.
And then I spent the next 2 years traveling the width and depth of this country. I spent time in Punjab, I spent time in Rajasthan, I spent time in Madhya Pradesh, I spent time in Haryana, in Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, to get an understanding of what they do and more importantly, what are their problems they're facing.
Okay.
Because only if you know their problems can you find solutions.
Right.
So I said I want to understand their problems.
Okay.
So I actually lived for 2 years, believe it or not. I lived with these guys in their villages, sometimes in their own home, eat the food that they were eating. Okay? Because I wanted to get to the absolute grassroots level of what happens in agriculture.
And what did you see? I mean, if you had to tell us like the top 3 reasons, for example, why
they fail.
Yeah, why they fail.
I'll give you the top 2 reasons.
Okay.
Very quickly. Okay. Of that entire 2 years of learning, I realized that there are 2 things that you need to do.
Okay.
One is don't do monocropping.
Okay.
Do multi-cropping. And the second is do batch processing.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Okay. Batch processing means you have to be consistent, not just in quality, but in delivery across the year.
Okay. Yeah, we see that. I mean, with a lot of farmers that we work with,
let me tell you. Farmer A showcases brilliant broccoli to you. First week he delivers, second week he delivers, third week he delivers, fourth week he doesn't have the broccoli. What do? Your supply chain is disrupted.
Right. Maybe I run a restaurant and I need to...
No, anybody, whether it's a business or whether it's a restaurant or whatever, you need consistency in quality and in delivery. Right? So that is batch processing.
Okay.
So typically what we do is, just to give you a very simplistic kind of a example, you have 1 acre, you divide it into 4 quadrants, and each of those 4 quadrants, you divide it again into 4 quadrants.
Okay.
So you have 16 squares in that 1 acre. Okay. So quadrant A has 4 squares, quadrant B has 4 squares, and C and D. Right?
Yeah.
A, you put crop A.
Okay.
Say you put chili.
Okay.
So you put in the first square of quadrant A, you put it for the first week.
Okay.
Then you put it in week 2. Then you put it in week 3. Then you put it in week 4.
So that there's like constant supply, basically.
So each week, so you seed first, the first square. Week 2, for example, if you say set a day, say Wednesday. Every Wednesday, I will do seeding. So every Wednesday, I will first seed A1, then A2, then A3, then A4. That's 1 month. Similarly, B1, I will put methi. A1, B1, B2, B3, B4. Similarly, C. Similarly, D.
Right.
I'm giving you a very simplistic kind of a
Correct.
example.
Correct.
Because we do something which is a lot more complex, which is proprietary,
Got it. Got
to
it.
ensure that you get consistency. Okay.
Understood.
In our business, I firmly believe consistency in quality is basic hygiene.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So we don't spend time saying, hey, our products are damn good. Because it's meant to be good.
It should speak for
It
itself.
has to be good. Anytime I go meet new customers, whether it is overseas or whether it is here, I say you first sample our products. You see our products. I don't wish to speak. Let my product speak for itself.
Got it.
Right? So
So you feel that one of the reasons for failure is that farmers are not thinking like this, right? They are
forgive
not
them
everybody.
for they know not. You know why? Because unfortunately, 99% of them are unpad. The 3 critical questions you need to answer in successful farming is what to grow. Okay. So by that I mean, if I grow tomato, I'll get 5 rupees margin per kg. If I grow broccoli, I'll make 55 rupees per kg. So it's a no-brainer as to what I should grow. First. Second is how much to grow.
right.
So if I have 500 acres and all 500 acres I put broccoli, I will have a glut in the market. And if I have a glut in the market, then my prices will drop. Agriculture pricing is nothing but demand and supply. So the moment there is high demand, prices will go up. The moment there is high supply, prices will drop. We need to create that equilibrium
Got it. Got it.
of demand and supply.
Right.
So the second is how much to grow. And the third is when I should harvest. Okay. There is a science behind harvesting, especially in seasonal stuff.
Okay.
Let me give you an example. We grow Elaki bananas. Okay. All of us know, it's common knowledge that the prices of Elaki banana goes up during the wedding season and during the marriage season, during the
And also just
festival
before
season.
festivals, yeah.
Festival season.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
So now, if I'm harvesting before Diwali or before Dashera, I hit a jackpot. Okay. If I harvest just before Christmas, I lose money.
Right.
I'm telling you the science behind this. Farmers don't think this because unfortunately, forgive them for they know not. This is where my corporate training has helped me.
Got it.
So we've taken a concerted decision that we will not grow all A to Z.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, grow few products, grow them really well, consistent in quality, consistent in delivery.
But a lot of your buyers will also expect large coverage and say, no, I want to buy everything from you. So how do you handle that situation?
Very simple. Very clearly, we tell them that this is what I can give you. These are all the items I have in my farm. Okay. There are some stray cases where, for example, and we are facing this especially in the catering business, restaurant catering business.
Okay.
Okay. They have some function or they've been contracted for some event. Suddenly, in the next 2 days, they have to cook up a 400-person meal. a meal for 400 covers. So suddenly they want some items which is in larger quantity. But so that is actually an unplanned order. So that time we tell them very clearly, listen, this is not a planned order. This is an unplanned order. Whereas we do in our farm the planned order. I don't have this. However, if you so desire, I will get it from equally responsible farmers.
Got it. Got it. So you kind of do that transparently with people, saying that, okay, if you want it.
Shamik, in life, I have learned, it is always the best practice to be open and upfront about it. In fact, I was just discussing with my colleagues as we were coming down this road here today. 15 minutes ago, this is what I was saying. The problem with most of us Indians is we don't know how to say no. We don't know how to say the truth. If I cannot give you, Shamik, I should tell you I cannot give you.
Right.
If I don't have good quality, I can, oh, but what will Shamik think? What will I do? I'll do some cover up. I'll do something. That is how we fail.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Do you agree?
Yep.
So, integrity is very important. Why do you think now I asked you to come to our farm? I want your consumers to experience this farm because it is very unique. It is not like any other run-of-the-mill farm that you have seen. In fact, you'd never have seen a farm like this.
Okay.
And I'm not saying it because it's my farm. I'm saying it because of what you will see.
Okay.
And after you see the farm, you tell me what you think.
Okay. Cool.
You know, it's important.
Yeah.
Right? Because at the end of the day, seeing is believing. A background about our business. 90% of what we grow, we export.
Okay.
First, we grow in about over 500 acres.
Okay. Which countries do you export to?
3 countries.
Okay.
Germany, UK and Singapore.
Okay. And all these 3 countries obviously have very stringent norms also in terms of
Absolutely.
the products that can enter their markets, right?
And we recently got an inquiry in Spain. We have declined.
Why is that?
Very simple. If you notice, these 3 countries that we supply to have direct cargo freighter service from Bangalore.
Okay.
So we are dealing with perishable commodity.
Can't have too many hops, can't afford
You
to send it to
can't have
somebody
a
else.
layover. If my San Marzano cherry tomatoes are sitting in some location for 6 hours in the cargo hold, by the time it reaches its destination, it's not at 100%.
Right.
Right? The other big factor that we have is in the cargo and freighter. The cargo hold in the aircraft is -4.
Okay.
The ambient temperature, I'm saying. So it actually serves like a freezer while moving.
Right.
You
But
understand?
vegetables stay properly in that temperature?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So we supply to the UK and Singapore, and we supply asparagus, we supply broccoli, we supply.
Do you also supply greens to any export markets?
This is exotic greens
Okay.
like lettuce, iceberg, romaine,
Got it.
and then a lot of herbs we've started now.
Got it.
Like rosemary, thyme,
Those you would supply
lemongrass.
fresh or dried?
fresh,
Okay.
all fresh.
And also, any reason why you don't do Middle East? Because what I've heard is Middle East is one of those places which wants to, because they don't grow much there, right? So,
Yes.
so they want to import a lot of stuff.
Yes. They, like I mentioned earlier, I want to do ethical practices. Okay. Money is not the be all and end all. I want to sleep well at night.
Okay.
And I want my customers to feel that they are getting items from a reliable source, not just in terms of consistency of quality, but consistency of the process that they're getting items. You've been buying items from Back to Basics for a while.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I ask a very simple question. Okay. You need not give the answer. But you know and I know why we've been working for such a long time together.
Right. It's been almost 3 years plus, I think now.
Why do we? It's not that you don't have options. It's not that I don't have options. But I want to work with Farmizen. Back to Basics wants to work with Farmizen. Farmizen wants to work with Back to Basics. That is what is relationship. The moment we go on this thing of, hey, I have options. In life, all of us have options. But then you cannot do ethical and mutually beneficial business. You cannot. Right?
Right.
Like I always keep telling my team, there are 4 wheels to the car, right? Which wheel is more important?
All of them are important.
All are important.
Yeah.
Right? So I cannot say, so for example, in a company, my production is also important. My DC center head, that business also is important. My delivery is also important. Customer satisfaction is important. Now, which is more important? All of them are important. And all of them have to they should work in synchrony, like a symphony. End of the day, as managers, we can only be a good conductor.
Right. Right.
That's all. Honestly, if you ask me what I do nothing.
Okay. Because you set up the systems
Because
and
we've
processes.
set it up. A one man cannot manage 500 acres. Okay? I'm living in fool's paradise if I say that I can manage it all by myself. No. I have to empower people. Hire people with good attitude. You can teach them competencies.
Right. Right. Now, just on a slightly different note, right, but related, like one of the things that has been the government of India, policymakers, etc., have been talking about for a long time now, is that basically, so India is a very primary agrarian country, right? 60% plus of our people are employed in agriculture. Now, but our land sizes are very fragmented and very small, which is why it becomes very difficult to become productive. That's at least a thesis. I'm not going to go into whether it's right or not, because there is an argument against it also, which says that, smallholder farmers feed the world. So now, but basically what a lot of policymakers have been talking about is there should be a way to, aggregate this farmland into larger size farms, right? And perhaps do a commercial arrangement with the farmers, individual farmers who own 1 acre, 2 acres, etc. You get them a guaranteed income and you get them to work at the farms. So the farm land still belongs to them, but it's kind of, in some method of either contract farming or leasing out, etc. and do it like that. So that basically you can marry this whole corporate knowledge, right? Be able to do, sell properly,
So
decide.
it's cooperative farming.
Right. And you get a lot of farmers also involved in that. Is that a model that you have tried out? What do you think about that?
First, we do not do contract farming.
Okay.
All the produce that we farm are either on our land or on land which we have leased. Okay. But we do the owner of that land no longer has control over that land.
Understood. That's a very important distinction, right?
Why I'm saying this cooperative business thing is not a good idea is because there is something called ethical farming, right? I cannot control what he is doing. So my question is, if I tell you I bought it from A, B, C, D, E, why can't you buy it from Krishnarajapuram? There it is X, Y, Z. Whereas when you buy from me, I, right from A to Z, have managed the process, which you will see in our farm today.
Got it.
This is a miniature version of what we do on a much larger scale.
Got it.
In our farms, Shamik, right from a JCB to tractors to tillers to everything we have. We have welders, we have painters, we have plumbers, we have
How many people do
electricians.
you employ?
1,400 people.
Okay. Wow. So it's at massive scale.
Okay, so it's not small. Managing 500 acres is not small. And I started from a 30-40 site
Right.
with no experience in agriculture. So my whole point is, if I can do it, anyone can do it.
Okay.
But you have to have the passion for it. The years that I struggled, at least 8 years after that 2 years that I spent, I actually worked 25 hours a day,
Okay.
borrowing 1 hour from the next day. The fruits of that today you will see.
Okay. And before we start the farm visit, what are the top 3-4 things which have really worked for you, which you would advise farmers to do? One, I think you have touched upon a few of them, right? You talked about that the
Two
planning,
things.
batch processing.
2 things very clear. Do not do monocrop.
Okay. That you are absolutely clear. Just does not make sense.
One Sunday every month, I teach in a Gram Panchayat office.
Okay.
Fortunately, because I'm very fluent in the local language. I can speak 13 languages.
Okay.
Okay, and all 4 South Indian languages fluently. So, one Sunday in a month, I give lectures in the Gram Panchayat office with farmers. Indian agriculture or the farmers are not succeeding. They blame it on agriculture. It is not true. The problem is with the farmer, not with agriculture. I'd given a lecture on the evils of monocropping. Okay. After that, a guy who owns a farm right next to one of the farms that we have, his name is Ramesha.
Okay.
He came to me and said, "Sir, I have 4 acres of land." And said, "Sir, I have 4 acres of land, which is right next to your land. And I want to grow. What should I grow?" So I told him, please grow things at multi-level.
Okay.
So something which is ground cover, something which is a little higher. So 4 levels you create and you grow. So I sat him down and I gave him some options that he could look at. He seemed convinced. Everything was fine. And then I didn't see him for the next 3 months or so.
Okay.
Okay. I don't go to each of our farms every day. I cannot. So I met him 3 months later and I asked him, "Hey Ramesha, how are you? What have you done with that knowledge that you got?" He said, "Yeah, I've put coriander. I bought seeds from Namdari and I put the coriander."
Okay.
I said, "Lovely. In all 4 acres?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Why? I told you don't." He said, "Illa, there's huge money to be made like that." Okay? Believe me, huge money to be made. And then he said, "Sir, sometimes now I'm wondering why you are running around working so hard. I am sitting under a mango tree and making money." So I said, "Wow, this is something I didn't know. Now please tell me what you did." So he said, "I went home and I spoke to my brothers and all, and I told them this is what sir said." And they said, "It's all bakwas. Just go to the cooperative store, buy Namdari seed of coriander and put it in all those 4 acres. We all know that if you put the dhania seed, you will get coriander. We all know that." So one day he was ready to harvest. 10 days before the harvest, some guy comes along to his farm and asks him, "Hey, listen, this coriander is there. Will you sell it?" So this guy says, "Yes, I will sell." So he said, "I'll give you an advance now." He gave him 10,000 rupees advance and said, "I am taking this whole thing and I will come with my people, harvest, you do nothing." So that fellow came. Dutifully, he harvested everything, took it and went. He got some 35,000 or something he got.
Okay.
Earlier he had got 10,000, so he got another 24,000 or 25,000. So 35,000 he
So
got.
he's happy with his mango tree ke niche baith ke getting this stuff.
35,000 rupees he got for 4 acres of coriander. He told me that he was the middleman for Reliance.
Okay.
Okay. So then I asked him, okay, I did the math in terms of what bundles he would have got. At that point in time, this was a few years ago. At that point in time, Reliance Fresh was selling a bunch of coriander at 8 rupees a bunch.
Okay.
Okay. So if I did the math, they would have got close to about 2.4 lakhs.
Okay. And he was happy with his 35,000.
And he got 35,000. And he's happy. And worse, he's telling me, you're a bloody fool doing what you're doing. And this is a true life example, Shamik. So now, who do you blame?
Right.
Got it, na?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a bunch of sample produce from Back to Basics here as well. And you want to take it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
These are all our A quality produce. This is the galangal. See the size of the galangal?
Nice.
This is what we export.
Okay. This is used a lot in Thai cooking.
Thai cooking.
Right? Also has a bunch of medicinal properties. Many people also dry it and make galangal powder.
Absolutely.
as well.
This is galangal. Then we have two varieties of bananas. This is the Yelaki banana and this is the red banana. The red banana we exclusively do, which is for Ayurvedic medicine purposes.
Okay.
The whole idea is that as people who know about Ayurvedic medicine is they have lehyas. I'm sure you are aware of lehyas,
Right.
which is the paste. The base of this paste is the red banana,
Oh, acha.
and there is a specific variety called the Sangam variety, which is what we grow.
Okay.
And this is made to order for them.
Interesting.
Okay. So this variety is grown specifically, and we ensure that it is extremely ripe. In fact, the skin should be black.
Acha. Okay. Because they are anyway going to make
They're
a paste
making
out
it
of
into
it.
paste. So that becomes the base, and then the medicines are infused into that paste,
Understood.
and that becomes the lehya.
Got it.
Okay. For example, Malayalam we call it lehyam. So in Ayurvedic medicine, lehyam is a very integral part of treatment.
Got it.
I'm sure you are aware of it, or you don't.
You are a Malik.
Okay.
Okay.
This is Spanish cucumber,
This is dragon fruit.
dragon fruit. See the lemons.
Oh, huge size.
These are the lemons that we export to Singapore.
Acha. Nice.
These are the guavas. This is a variety called the Lalit. It is Allahabad variety.
Okay.
It's white.
Okay.
This
Massive
is
size pomegranates as well.
These are the pomegranates. This variety is called the Bagwa variety. We only grow this variety. This is a Kabul variety.
Acha.
And the other ones that you get typically in India is the Ganesha variety.
Okay.
The Ganesha is pink with white seeds inside. This is blood red inside.
I see.
See the amlas.
So about all of these varieties, etc., is that something that your customers have requested you to grow, or this is something that you learned during those 2 years of, traveling around the world
Okay.
and country in different farms?
Two things has been the hallmark of my journey so far in the last 14 years. One is don't compromise on quality. Ensure that you give top quality. Customers will come to you if you give them top quality. Don't compromise on that. And the second is grow items which is unique.
Okay. So there are, I think, two things, again, two different points of education for would-be farmers as well, right?
Yes.
In terms of, especially the second one, that grow things which are unique. This is something which, again, we see farmers miss out on, right? They're like, okay, everybody is growing this, I'll grow this.
Yeah.
It actually should be the other way around. Again, somewhere your corporate experience in terms of, differentiation is important. Those things are
Yes.
coming.
So in a way, you become niche.
Right.
To use a marketing term. But the fear of being niche is that you are not mass.
Right.
And because you're not mass, you don't have volume.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
For example, tomato, potato, onions sell in tons.
Right. Right.
Right.
It's like 40% of FNV becomes that.
Whereas I cannot expect to sell 1 ton of galangal.
Right. Correct.
Whereas I am looking at value based farming. It's about the value, not about the volume. It's not that when my truck leaves, I have to have 4 lakhs of inventory in it. It is about the value that I have in that 1 crate or 2 crates or 5 crates that we have.
Right. Right.
Got it? No? It's not in tonnage.
Yep.
Okay.
No, it's
Just
very
look at
interesting because see, we run something called the Farmizen boot camp, okay, which is like it's a 3-month for people who are trying to become organic farmers. It's so interesting that all of these are things that we kind of end up talking about, right? And it's very interesting to see a farmer who's like, yes. You are kind of checking off all of the checklists which we cover over 3 months, right? So it's very cool.
Yeah.
Very
And we're actually
interesting.
doing it.
Right.
Just look at the size of the lemons. This variety is called the Kolkata variety.
Okay.
Okay. It has very few seeds
Okay.
and very high juice content. Amla.
Even the chilies
Musabi.
are all
Yeah.
looking so nice.
So there are actually 2 varieties of chilies that we grow. This is the variety which is less spicy,
Okay.
and the other, which is very spicy, is called the Akash chili.
Okay.
The reason it's called Akash is because that's the only variety of chili which is pointing to the sky.
Acha, okay. When it's growing on the plant, it's pointing.
It's
to the
pointing to the sky,
Interesting.
which you will see. We advise our pluckers of the green chili to wear gloves and pluck it. That is the,
Okay.
even the juice from that, if you have any cuts,
Like the
it
capsicum
can
content
burn.
is very
It
high,
can,
so
it can burn. So this is chili, the sweet potato. Look at the coconut.
again massive ones. Right. Oh, is that Hass avocado?
Yes.
Looks like Hass. Nice.
These are Haas.
So why is Hass so popular and so costly? What's your take on it?
Okay, very simple. You have close to about 250 varieties of avocados, right from the Caribbean avocados to the Haas. Why is Haas sought after?
Right.
Is because the inside of the Haas avocado is creamy.
I see. Okay. Okay.
It's not hard. It's like butter.
So it goes very well, like directly make a spread and put it on toast.
Exactly.
Right.
That
And
is the idea.
Nowadays, millennials are all having this avocado toast, right? Where
Correct.
they'll put avocado paste and they'll put eggs as well. One half fried egg they'll put.
I have at least 1 avocado every day
Okay. Okay.
in my meal. So these are Haas.
So one of the things that we have noticed in general is that a lot of farmers, I think they might have got fooled by nurseries or whatever, because they confidently tell us that, oh no, we are growing Haas, and then we ask them for a sample, and then we see that it's actually not Haas, because Haas is very unique, right? It will always become like this. The skin will always have
Wrinkles.
you know, all of these wrinkles, etc.
I will show you another avocado,
Okay.
okay, which is double the size of this.
Uh-huh.
It's the Caribbean avocado,
Okay.
okay? That is size,
Okay.
and it's smooth. Okay, so we have some customers who want only that because it's size. Haas is not huge.
Got it. Got it.
The Caribbean is double the size.
But tell me something. I mean, how are you able to grow all of these crops, which like many of them are like Caribbean is probably grows mostly in Caribbean
Correct.
areas. This has probably in Mexico or some other places. How are you able to grow all of these in outskirts of Bangalore? What is the secret there?
Very simple. It's an excellent question, actually, Shamik. The trick is always, let me ask you, answer this question with another question.
Okay.
You're born in Ooty,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
And I suddenly transport you to Singapore or Chennai. Okay? First day, you will die of sweat. Second day, you will die of sweat. 1 week, you will suffer. 3 months later, you will suffer. 1 year later, your body gets what is called acclimatized.
Right.
Right?
Right.
The same thing happens with plants. However, we have apricots which I brought from Vancouver,
Okay.
which is growing in Kolar.
Okay.
Now you may ask me, good Lord, if you bring it from Vancouver and put it in Kolar, and how does it grow? It will die. It will die.
Okay.
But if I'm able to mimic its mother condition initially, because please understand, from Vancouver to Bangalore, it has gone through travel shock of the journey. Okay, so I mimic mother conditions for it.
Okay. So I think mimicking and initially, these are the two important keywords
Yes.
there. Because obviously it might not be economically feasible to mimic it all throughout its life. Right?
No.
The idea is to
Mimic it initial.
And how is typically, is that like a 6-month
Slowly-
period, one
okay.
year period?
Depending again
Okay.
on where we get it from.
Okay.
So for example, the items that we bring, which is from deep temperate climates, take longer to get acclimatized. The ones that are from closer to the tropics are shorter.
Okay. So when you say this acclimatizing by mimicking conditions, are you talking about making greenhouses, polyhouses, shade nets, using all of
and
those?
that is where you control temperature, moisture.
Got it. Got it. So primarily using temperature, moisture, and sunlight. These three things you will kind of control too. Got it.
Sunlight is not such a big problem.
Acha. Okay.
Okay.
As long as
most
temperature
people
and
believe,
moisture.
most people believe, oh God, it should, the temperature is too much. It can be a scorching sun, but you maintain the temperature.
I see.
Please understand, the basis of food making in a plant is photosynthesis, for which you need sunlight.
Right.
For any plant,
Right. Correct.
So you cannot remove sunlight, and nothing better than natural sunlight.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
I hope I've answered your question.
Yes. Awesome. So the other question I have is, like, if I see all of this produce here, amazing quality, etc. One of the things which people, either I've seen farmers struggle with it a lot, but even F&B companies also struggle with it, is basically how do you maintain quality during this grading process? Because there is so much of human involvement, right? In the sense, the person, the supervisor who's actually on the floor, who's doing all of this grading, who's supervising that seems to impact the quality of produce or the quality of grade. So how did you solve that? Because you have a lot of reliability of supply in terms of, if you have, see, basically we get from a lot of different farms, right? Now when we see at the effort that we need in terms of going through the produce and grading it again, with back to basics, it's very limited, right? There is very little rejection also because of that.
What has been your experience with back to basics? The quality that you're receiving?
Yeah, so it is very good. It is amazing, and it is usually our team has to spend very little effort in terms of doing a regrading. So what I'm asking is, what is the secret to that? How are you able to achieve that? Why are other farmers not able to do that?
Okay, let me answer this again with a quote from Sanskrit.
Okay.
Yatha Raja Tatha Praja.
Okay.
Which means,
Huh.
how the king is,
Huh.
so will the subjects be.
Okay.
Right? If the king
Huh.
is not 100%, but 110% on quality, then the subjects also will be 110% on quality. Second, let me tell you, most people across the world, man is a human being, and as a human being, they need to get incentivized in terms of doing a great job. Why is it, you asked a question, why is it in my DC they're able to do a great job? I didn't say, you said.
Correct.
That back to basics gives excellent quality and consistently, right? How is it they able to do it? Because our labor are able to grade consistently. Why are they able to do grade consistently? Because of a carrot and stick approach.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Here is the secret. We have, out of the 100% that is paid to them, 40% is fixed, 60% is variable.
Interesting. Got it.
It is on feedback. If there is a negative feedback that comes, from a customer, right from the guy who delivered it. So what happened? We've delivered some items to Farmizen. So there is a guy who's delivered it. So that guy is taken to task. He has negative points. Then in the DC, some fellow has graded it. He gets negative points. Third, we are receiving it from our farm. So there's an invert. So the fellow who's received it has goofed. Fourth, in our farm, there's one fellow who has sent it to the DC.
So a negative feedback basically would affect people's incentives across this entire.
It is affecting this. So 60% of their salary is variable. Because I firmly believe, Shamik, as in life, you cannot compare a Goda and a Gadha. A Goda is a Goda, a Gadha is a Gadha. And in our business, in my DC, in my staff, I don't want Godas. I want race Godas.
Okay.
Right? We keep all our staff extremely well and extremely happy. Our retention is one of the lowest in the industry.
Retention is highest. Turnover is one of the lowest.
Retention is highest. Attrition is the lowest.
Okay.
Why? Because they're kept happy. And it's not just we yield to whatever their demands are. We make them proud of what they do. For example, we have what is called an extra punch award.
Extra?
Punch.
Okay.
Punch
Okay.
award.
Okay.
So which means they've pushed beyond their level.
Okay.
Some guy has done a job which is beyond what he's expected to do. He has a $10,000 cash prize.
Okay.
And that is celebrated. Catch people doing things right,
Okay.
not what they're doing wrong. Most of us as managers, Shamik,
Correct.
only reprimand. They are excellent in reprimanding. We don't catch people doing things right.
That's very interesting. Catch people doing right.
Right.
Interesting.
So, one is he wants to deliver a great job because he wants that extra punch. Second is there is so that is the carrot. So he's getting some incentive.
Correct.
The stick is he's actually losing money if he sends a poor quality item to you.
Got it. Achha, the other
What do you
question.
think? Can I send you my bill?
The other question I have is, so obviously this is not a factory, it's nature, trees, right? So trees will obviously, it will have nice big juicy lemons like this, and there will be some smaller ones, etc. also. So what do you do with the lowest grade items which has got produced? What do you do with those?
Okay. So, as in production, liquidation strategies are very, very important.
Okay.
Because from a lemon plant, you just pulled out a lemon, so I'm just talking about a lemon.
Yeah.
In one lemon plant, you will get A quality lemons, you will get B quality lemons, you will get C quality lemons.
Correct.
Okay?
Correct.
This is not a factory.
Correct.
This is nature.
Correct.
So I cannot insist or program the plant to only deliver A quality lemons.
Right.
It is not possible
Right.
because it's nature.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So the question is, what do I do with B and C? So those you form liquidation strategies.
Okay.
Let me give you a simple example by what I mean by this. Take the case of, say, a tomato. Okay. A quality tomatoes we supply as table tomatoes,
Okay.
which is meant for slices. A B quality tomatoes that we give is meant for sabji,
Okay.
okay? which is visible in the dish. So you see chunks of tomato in the sabji.
Got it. So some level of cosmetic is still important in that.
There is a very minor processing in it. C quality tomatoes are made into ketchup.
But do you make the ketchup yourself or no? You supply to
Nothing.
those people who
So,
would
for
got
example, to some of our clients, we supply tomatoes A quality, B quality, C quality. So we've actually graded it like that. So, for example, a key hotel chain in India buys their entire produce out of the 8 properties in Bangalore that they have from us. And there the indent itself is, I want 5 kgs of A tomato, I want 20 kgs of B tomato, and I want 50 kgs of C tomato.
Acha, okay. Got it.
That is integrity. I don't mix A and B and C. And I'm telling you this is A.
Understood.
Right?
Got it. So you have liquidation strategies for all your products. You kind of have some sort of a liquidation strategy which is there.
And the D item, we give it to people who take only D.
Got it. What is the number of SKUs that you grow at the farm? It varies obviously, but
Varies.
Approximately, is it like a 30-40? Is it 60-70?
Very ambitiously, thinking that I can grow some 254 items.
Okay.
Let me be open with you. Today, I've lost a lot of my hair, and I've realized that it is not prudent and viable to grow so many items. So, grow few items, grow them well.
But don't also fall into the monocropping mode.
Exactly.
So it should still be multi-cropped, reasonably diverse set of things. But of course.
So even in our farm, you will see in every plot of land, you will see a minimum of 3 items being grown on the same piece of land.
Okay.
You will not see just one item, acres and acres.
Got it. Understood. Cool. Of course, that has its own advantages in terms of pests get confused, right? Overall, the soil quality itself is much more improved. I mean, we see 2 different sets of producers, right? One set of producers are, no, I'm going to rely a lot on science. So I'm going to keep on doing soil testing, monitor my parameters at least once a year, some of them twice a year, and see, okay, this magnesium levels are a little low, I need to kind of address this and things like that. Then there is this other set which are like, hey, the principles are not so difficult. It's a different matter that many people don't practice those simple principles itself, but I'm going to take nature takes its course. I'm just going to do very standard stuff, right? I'm going to make sure there is enough good quality compost which is there. I'm going to make sure I'm going to watch out for if there are pest attacks. I'm going to do something. I'm going to put Beveria or whatever, right? So what is your approach? Do you take a very, very scientific look? Let's look at soil tests regularly, that sort of an approach, or are you like, no, let me give nature also some credit?
Okay.
And how
that's an excellent question.
Okay.
I answer that very simply because I cannot, even if I try, I will fail to try to replicate nature. I cannot compete with nature. You will lose, you will fail if you try to compete with nature. Nature is supreme. Let's all understand that first. Because everything that we have on this planet is because of nature. Nature came before us, nature will last after us. First. Second is, so I've answered a bit of your question. The second point is, ensure that you give the items which is freely available in nature to the plant.
And in many cases, it will also make economic sense also, right, to do that.
Which is freely available.
Right, it's freely available.
Correct. So, which is again the benefits of multi-cropping. So, for example, I grow a certain crop, it removes
certain nutrients.
High potash because it needs that potash. Just say potato. Potato, it's a known fact that potash is, it takes potash in high quantities for a potato.
Okay.
So if it's taking that potash, then to that extent, the potash nutrient in the soil is depleted. Right? If I only keep adding that potash, then the soil condition gets skewed.
Right.
So what I do, I grow potato along with a chili.
Okay. Okay.
So uniformly nutrients get depleted, and uniformly you put in items
Got it. Got it. Got it.
by supplements.
Understood.
The second and basic premise, Shamik, if you ask me, you look at all these items, look at items in our farm, you will see that hardly any of our plants have pests. ठीक है? And then you say, कैसा हो गया? How come all of them are smiling at me? Why is it none of them are dying? Right?
And why is the pesticide industry still such a thriving
Why it
industry?
is thriving? Right? If Madhu is able to crack it, why is it that means then pesticide industry should die?
Correct.
It should, right?
Or at least their stock prices should crash.
Crash. Why is it not happening? Because the principle we follow is, again, I'll ask you a question. When do you go to a doctor, Samik?
Usually when there is something wrong, some symptoms have come up.
Wait, so which means you're not completely alright. That's when you go to a doctor, correct? If you're perfectly fine, will you go to a doctor?
No.
You will not go.
No.
Correct?
Yeah.
Then, so which means we should follow the practice of preventive as against curative.
It's actually almost same like Western medicine versus Ayurveda. Yes, you have to go to Western medicine, but only when something goes wrong. Better to try to fix it earlier itself,
And
right?
in Ayurveda, they fix the root.
Correct. Correct.
You have a headache, they give you a headache tablet, so the headache goes away. But the root of why you had that headache is not gone.
Correct. Correct. And that actually in the simplest way is probably the difference between chemical farming and
Yes.
natural / organic / biological farming, right?
Second, let me tell you, the secret that we have. All of us have pores, right? Skin, in the skin. You go to a sauna and you go to a steam, right? You do?
Yeah.
All of us go?
Yeah.
Why do you go? What happens in a sauna or a steam?
I mean, I think there's a lot of sweat that comes out.
Toxins
Right.
come out with the sweat,
Right.
correct?
Right.
Through the pores.
Right.
Similarly, young saplings have pores in their stems. As they grow older, the pores close up.
Acha.
And
Okay.
then the primary source of their breathing is through the leaf, not through the stem.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Because the pores in the skin in the stem dries up or gets closed.
Interesting.
Right? So in a sapling, what we do is we have what is called a neem sauna.
Okay. Okay. Interesting.
We put neem oil.
Okay.
So what happens is the neem oil gets. I won't give you the whole process because it's patented.
Okay. Okay.
I hold that patent. Okay. So we actually create a room which has a high amount of neem oil in it.
Interesting.
So this gets absorbed and this is there for a period of time.
Okay.
So then the plant itself gets healthy.
Okay.
Then
So you strengthen the plant when it's young, when those stomata, etc., are kind of
Yes.
open on the
Yes.
stems. And got it. Got it.
so you are healthy. So when you're healthy, you become more pest resistant.
Got it. So neem oil in general, what you're saying is neem oil is not just a pest repellent. One view of neem oil is it's just a pest repellent with all of these strong tastes. But what you're saying is neem oil actually helps the plant become stronger and develop some sort of immunity as well. Is
Yes,
that
that is
interesting?
why as an infant, why do they give items to as food to make it strong?
Right, right.
They call it pushti aharam. Pushti means for you to be able to have the strength.
So basically what I'm hearing from you over a couple of places is that you focus a lot on the early life of the plant. That is when you try to strengthen it.
Yes.
You want to get it acclimatized,
Yes.
all of this. So a lot of your effort goes in the early life
Yes.
of the plant.
Yes.
This is very, very interesting. This is something, I mean, usually people don't talk about it much, right? So,
You know why?
yeah,
And I'll tell you this.
yeah.
And it is actually referred in the Bible.
Okay, okay,
Let me quote from the Bible.
okay.
A leopard cannot change its spots, or an Ethiopian his color.
Right,
Right.
right.
Which means that how the genesis of that plant, how it is, in its infancy, that's how it will be. You look after the plant well when it's young, feed it well, it will look after you later.
The plant is so healthy and there is so much of small branching and clustering of fruits, right? Which is very cool.
Yeah, see this. Look at the amount of lemon in. Don't you think this plant is healthy?
Yeah, of course.
Huh?
And you can see all these bees, etc. happily
happy.
roaming around. There is another moth-like thing.
Gardening is like being a good parent. You have to keep trimming. Like your kids also, you have to keep.
If you let them completely loose, then they'll go wild.
They'll go wild.
What do you think? What is your opinion on? See, nowadays a lot of people are thinking of making a journey like yours, right? Like, okay, I want to go back to my roots, back to my basics, right? And kind of start to, do something more meaningful, real. And you use the Sanskrit word
Athmalabh.
Athmalabh, right? So a lot of people are, because I think people are also, we have gone out of the survival mode.
Athmalabh means benefit for the soul.
So it's like high up in the Maslow's hierarchy, if you say, right? The topmost thing of the Maslow's hierarchy, really. So a lot of people are now starting to think about that. But what is your advice for them? You have given some advice for farmers, etc. But for people who are thinking of doing a corporate to farming journey, right? What would be your advice for them? One advice, for example, could be don't do it. It's too tough, right? That's a valid advice. You could say that as well.
Okay, let me give you again through an example.
Yeah.
I had my professor from IIM Bangalore calling me one day saying that I have 4 students who are currently in their first year and they are very interested in becoming organic farmers. So they want to do some sort of an internship with you. So can you please keep them under your wing for a couple of months? So I said, sure, send them. So they came to one of my farms and this was like a litmus test.
Okay.
So the moment they came, I had asked one of my staff to keep a bucket of cow dung in that bucket. And I said, now please take it out of your hand and give it to each of these plants. There's a bucket here. From this bucket in your hand, he said, eeks, I can't do it.
Okay,
So
ting.
you cannot be a organic farmer. The whole idea is today, unfortunately, the whole journey of organic farming has been romanticized. And I'm saying romanticized. Okay, so it's not the business of farming. It is, oh wow, it's so cool to be a farmer. It's so open air, it's beautiful, strength. But the whole point is you also need to create a living out of it. If you have to create a living out of it, you have to have processes. Right? So for that, I say there is what I call the swan effect.
Okay.
The swan effect is people only see the fruits of my labor in the farm and say, wow, Madhu has done such a fantastic farm. And I'm sure you will say this at the end of the journey. Okay? But you've not seen how frantically my legs have been paddling under the water. You only see
The neck of the swan, gliding
in the thing, effortlessly it is going. But it is gliding, it is furiously paddling away.
Right.
समझ गया ना? So most people who get into this farming don't know. Forgive them for they know not. They only see, wow, Madhu ने इतना अच्छा farm कर दिया ना, मैं भी करूँगा. But what is the mehnat is not
obvious,
and they don't look at it. In 3 months, there is a burnout.
Right.
Say, God, this is not what I thought it will be. Blazing sun. There are times, Shamek, I'm being open with you, I've forgotten to have lunch. And I'm saying forgotten.
Didn't even have time to feel hungry. So it's like, I didn't have lunch today. Okay.
Suddenly I look at my watch, oh God, it's 4 o'clock. Oh God, I've not had lunch.
Yeah.
All these trenches, all of them have been done for a purpose.
Okay.
These is all, the entire 60 acres that we have, this farm, we don't even waste a drop of this rainwater.
This is a
Now you come and
massive
see.
tank. This must be what, 2, 3, 4 lakh?
So what we do is we create a series of trenches.
Okay.
So for example, this entire land, okay, is sloping this way.
Okay.
So we have trenches there and we have trenches here.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So what happens is this water comes here, here. It comes here.
Okay.
And then there's a pipe here. Here you can see the pipe. Okay. So purposely we've created this. So the water comes, hits this.
Okay. Okay. That's why there you have put these stones here.
Yes.
So that it will come and hit it.
Hit the stone.
And it will not erode and go in flow there. Okay.
It will come here, come into this pipe. Okay. Comes here.
Okay.
That pipe comes here.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
And if you notice, there is a pit there.
Right. Right. Right.
The reason is because that captures the sediment.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Everything here is Shamik, everything is thought of. It is not by, it is by design. So the water comes from there, it carries a lot of silt.
Right. Right.
So that
right.
silt gets deposited here. So the overflow then comes here.
Ah. Okay. Okay.
समझ गया? आइए. So this overflow comes like this. Okay. So it comes there. Okay. From there it has come here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again there's a pit there.
Right. Right. Same sediment.
Same connection. Then it overflows and falls here.
Okay. Okay.
Again there's a pit here.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So this gets full.
Ha 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 ha.
Okay. This captures the sediment from two sides. One is from the east and the other is from the north.
Okay.
It comes from here.
Okay.
Yeah, here, here. You can see the pipe.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Come this
yeah.
way. Come this way.
Right. Right.
You can see the pipes there.
So that water flows from there and
Come
from here.
So it comes in from two directions. Fills this. Then the overflow comes here.
Okay. Okay.
Then it falls in this pit.
Okay.
Overflows, goes into that pit.
Okay. Oh,
Overflows
because there is a slope here also.
Ah.
So, okay. So one by one, these things get. So even if there is a flood-like situation, a lot of rain, even then, because so many are there, okay, too much of water, 2 of them got filled. A little more, 3 of them got filled.
Take it. ಇಲ್ಲ ಇವಾಗ ಹೋಯ್ತು ಒಳಗಡೆ ಈ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಇದೆ. See you. It's just started.
See, then we spotted this dog who was having so much fun. And then after some time, he ran away. And that Saran, who's there from the Farmizen team, who's there with that big pile of Bangalore. And it's interesting that Back to Basics essentially creates a lot of their inputs completely themselves, right? So they have over 10,000 coconut trees, right? So cocoa peat is made at the farm. They do not buy their cocoa peat. And this cocoa peat, of course, they use cocoa peat as well as the farmyard manure, and they use it for their soil remedies, etc. What you can see here now is the manure mixing machine. So they don't hesitate to use whatever mechanization is possible. And this is how initially things kind of come in a pulverized form from this, right? And then this is taken in and further grounded to make that cocoa peat that you saw, right? Which is then kind of dried and things like that. So the other thing that we really saw at this farm was that the fruits were extremely healthy. Their sizes were massive. There were a lot of beneficial insects that we spotted, but there were very few very few pests. Now, if you notice, the way the fruits were also growing, they are very much bunched together, kind of like in one bunch. So that basically shows that the plants are extremely healthy. The trees are extremely healthy. And there are varieties from all across, really nicely shaped avocados, etc. They even grow Hass avocados, which are very few people grow them in India. right? And then this is like an apricot, which is actually, it's an apricot tree. So they have been able to successfully grow apricots in Bangalore as well. And there are many such examples. They have masala guava from Peru, not masala guava, black guava from Peru, right? They have really nice, lot of mangoes varieties, right? From various places. And again, see, look at the how the fruits are all bunched together. It's a sign of a healthy thing. The other thing you will notice is very few areas are left uncultivated. So even if in an orchard area, between that they would have vegetables, right? So they would do multi-cropping extensively, and they grow some very costly crops as well. Like this is the noni fruit, which is supposed to be an anti-cancer fruit. Grows across a lot of places in Southeast Asia, but it grows here. The fruit actually tastes horrible. It's one of the worst fruits that I've ever tasted in my life. It tastes like some puke or rotten, but it's very, very healthy. And this is like kumquat, which you can, Sarang is actually eating it with the peel itself, right? Can be quite sour and it's initially not fully ripened. And then there is peanut butter fruit, which is growing, which is very delicate. It's very delicate to kind of go ahead and transport, which is why you don't find it everywhere, but you will of course find it at Farmizen.
As the name Vaastu Shastra implies, Shastra means science. So Vaastu is not just a fad or a superstition or a tradition. It is a science. So it is up to us to tap the forces of nature, which we cannot control, but we can only absorb to our betterment. So what do I mean by this? How are we absorbing it? One, it is common knowledge that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, right? So because of this, the breeze actually flows in the north-south direction because the sun, so it runs perpendicular to the sun, right? So you need to also plant in a north-south direction. The reason you plant in a north-south direction is because as the sun moves from east to west, equal amount of sunlight falls on every plant. If you plant east to west following the sun, then the shade of one plant will fall on the other, subsequent to the third, to the fourth, etc. This is how you use Vastu Shastra from a planting perspective. The second is about the breeze. It is common knowledge that the breeze always flows in an open land from north to south. That is how it flows. So, for example, we are standing here, the breeze comes from here because the sun is moving this way. Okay, we should not arrest the breeze. You should allow the breeze to flow. If you arrest the breeze, the plants will fall. You have to aid the breeze to go, which is another reason why you plant the rose in north to south, because the breeze flows in between the plants. So these are just two small examples of how in agriculture you implement Vastu Shastra.
There is also this other example you were talking about how you have plowed the land, right, with those ridges.
Correct.
From the water perspective, your particular
So
case.
I can go on. I actually have studied, I have taken a course in Vastu Shastra. I have studied it. So it is not just reading from some book, and I have studied it, I have practiced it, seen the benefits of it in our daily life. I have implemented it also in my house where I live. My bedroom is 2 degrees cooler than the rest of my house, only because of Vastu Shastra. Disease.
Like that, yeah.
So you should never put wet gobra.
Yeah.
So you should dry it. So this is a drying area. So what we do is we pour it on the corners.
Okay.
When you pour it on the corners, it goes into the center and then it dries.
Okay.
It forms powder. Oh, ಯಾವಾಗ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು ಸರ್? ಇವಾಗ ಬಂದಿದೆಯಪ್ಪ?
1 hour.
1 hour aita. Okay, so this is just come 1 hour back. Okay. From our go ashram in my mom's go ashram. In that. Twice a week, Fayaz Bhai goes to Vishranti, which is our so there's a Goshala. From there, it is brought here, and then he is unloading it now.
How many cows are there in that Goshala?
36 cows. Desi cows.
Halikars or? Halikar?
All kinds. Kolo.
Slurry fall. When waterfall, slurry fall. So this is going to be layer. Having now slurry. Then after this, you are again going to put in. But one question I had is that one problem with the pit method is sometimes is that aeration does not happen well enough compared to the pile method.
And answer. What we need to do is Yes. Okay. So, see, it is a good thing that he just brought it. So twice a week he brings it from the farm. So we actually tried a unique method for our vermicomposting, and that was the U method. The U method is, this is again my own proprietary method, but it didn't come out very well, or it took a lot more time. Which is essentially what happens is you create a U, it has like a pipe, which is very big, and then you fill it from one side. As you keep filling it in one side, and then it goes down the U, and then as it keeps coming up, it becomes compost.
Acha. Okay.
So as you keep pushing it here, by pressure it will come out the other side.
Acha, so you will actually do it in a U-shaped structure.
The tunnel, it's like a tunnel, like a U shape.
Okay.
I actually
put from here, so it keeps on going, and wahan se you just keep taking. So that is automatically you keep taking it out.
Automatically it keeps coming out.
Okay. And the aeration, some holes, etc.
Holes are there so that the aeration happens.
Okay.
Now, in a thing like this, where there's a lot more items coming in here, because our DC is also there.
So all your vegetable waste is here.
Because you can see the waste.
Yeah. And
you can see what beautiful
regular leaves are there.
Color capsicum is also one. So all this is poured in layers.
Okay.
So first you have, this is actually about 15 feet deep. So the bottom you have soil, above the soil you have cocoa peat, above that you have the leaves, above that you have cocoa peat, again you put soil. So it's like a sandwich.
And you'll put the slurry. After the slurry is covered,
keep on putting
again
slurry.
you'll put, right?
Keep on putting. Now he's putting the slurry, then we'll put leaves. Or we'll put soil.
So sandwich ban jayega. Now my only question is aeration in this.
Now what we do is we have our own JCB. So our own JCB comes to open it. That's why we open on 3 sides.
Okay.
So the JCB will stand here and open this out. Then it will stand there and open it out. Then
how frequent is that the turning sort of done?
Once in 2 months ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಪ್ಪ. ಯಾವಾಗ ಅದು rotate ಮಾಡೋದು JCB once or 2 months. This is for our vermicompost.
So there were a few very key learnings that we got from this farm visit, and let me talk about a few of them. Right? So the first one is that you need to do meticulous planning, and you need to run your farm like a well-run, well-oiled machinery, well-run company, right? With everything tracked, with dashboards, etc. For example, Back to Basics actually goes ahead and uses SAP as their ERP as a farm, right? Everything is tracked across the all of the different plots, all of the different fields, etc. We actually teach how to do planning like this in the Farmizen Bootcamp, Organic Farming Bootcamp course. So that's number one. Number two is that you need to make most of your farm inputs yourself so that you can control the process and the outcome. This is very important because one of the keys to success in organic farming, especially in vegetables and in fruits, is that you need to give amazing quality so that people are not price sensitive when they come to you. And people are used to getting really high quality stuff from you, so they don't mind paying a slightly higher price, right? So for that, you need to control the entire process as much as possible, which means you need to make your farm inputs. Of course, the other advantage of making your farm inputs is that you can also make things a little cheaper for yourself, right? So that's number 2. Number 3 is you need to really spend time thinking about the 3 key questions: what to grow, how to grow, and where to grow. And each of those questions is equally important. Number 4, as we see what has been done by Mr. Madhusudan in Back to Basics, you can grow plants from other climatic zones in a place like Bangalore. Not a problem. But there is one catch. You have to take care of them during their early months in terms of temperature and moisture, specifically in terms of these 2. Because if you do that, then the plant kind of adapts itself, and then gradually it's okay when you take away that additional special care. Even the local climate is actually then good enough for them. That's number 4. So it's possible, and Back to Basics has kind of perfected that art of doing that. Number 5, if the seed is strong, then the plant will be strong. So it's very important to spend a lot of time finding the right seeds and saplings. If required, you could even go to nurseries abroad and things like that. We saw a lot of examples of that happening at Back to Basics, right? So these are some of the learnings, and the final one is that it's possible to get large-scale efficiency as well as maintain soil health. These things do not have to be at loggerheads. If the intent is right, and if you are doing it with integrity, then these 2 things can actually go hand in hand. You do not have to compromise on one thing for the other. This is very important. So this farm visit was really eye-opening. It showed us that it's possible to do profitable organic farming at scale, right? And we are talking about 500 plus acres sort of a scale. And number 7, and I think the final learning for us, is that you need to be creative about finding your markets. For example, Back to Basics actually exports almost 90% of their produce, right? So you need to really think like an entrepreneur and not only as a producer, So farmers should think like farm entrepreneurs, not just producers of goods. Because what does an entrepreneur do? An entrepreneur goes ahead and sells stuff, right? An entrepreneur goes ahead and makes their operation more efficient. Entrepreneur goes ahead and figures out where they'll get capital from, right? So as a farmer, you need to be doing all of these. You cannot say that I'm just going to do farming, right? So I hope this was useful for all of you.